It's 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
Today, picking up after a night of storms. At least 4 tornadoes have been confirmed so far. Survey teams with the National Weather Service confirm an EF1 tornado touched down south of Melville. The twister's path stretched from I-55 to just outside of Columbia, Illinois, over the Mississippi River. Tornadoes also caused damage in Clay and Marion counties in eastern Illinois. Thank you for joining us on this Memorial Day. I'm Ann Allred. Kay Quinn has the day off.
I'm Brent Solomon. Another hard-hit area is Clinton County, Illinois. An EF1 tornado just confirmed in the town of New Baden. A radar-confirmed tornado also touched down in Carlisle, severely damaging 2 businesses. We kick off our coverage with 5 on your side's Megan Kernan. She's live in Carlisle at Hazlitt State Park. Megan, what are you seeing there?
Well, Brent, NWS crews are in Carlisle right now assessing the damage. Now, we're at the campgrounds at Eldon Hazlitt State Park, where it was in the pathway of the radar-confirmed tornado that touched down in Carlisle last night. Now, as you can see behind me, this camper is a total loss. I'm going to step out of the way so you can just see how extensive this damage is of all these trees that fell on and toppled over into this camper. Now, the owner of the camper tells me they heard the tornado warning sirens and ran to safety in the storm shelter area on the campground. After it was over, they came back to the camper knee deep in water, destroyed by multiple trees that toppled onto it and even went inside. The owner tells me, thankfully, nobody was injured, and they do have insurance on the camper. Now, we saw many people in the campground clearing off debris and trees in the road. Another camper from Wood River, Illinois, was packing up to leave just a few hours ago. When the tornado siren started, they took shelter inside their camper. Thankfully, they walked out of it with no injuries and no damage to their camper.
We didn't know it was going to be that bad. Next thing you know, it just came so fast. We were like, well, we could leave, and then next thing you know, bam, it was here. So, yeah, we decided to stick it out. The camp host said it was one of the worst ones he's ever seen. So, yeah, we're part of it.
Right now, 92 customers in Clinton County are still without power. Tonight at 5, we'll show you all of the damage from area businesses and homes in the Carlisle area. Live in Carlisle, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
All right, Megan, thank you. We're getting a look at more damage in southeast Missouri. This is the scene in Sikeston. There's now a temporary curfew there due to all of the damage. Debris is blocking several roads and power is still out in some areas.
The storms turned deadly as they moved eastward. They are blamed for 21 deaths from Texas to Arkansas and Kentucky. Here is some of the damage in Texas, a wide trail of damaged buildings. Laura Aguirre has the latest on the cleanup.
My kids ran in and we looked out and we just seen all the damage.
Patrice Childress is one of many survivors who had only seconds to find cover during Sunday's wave of deadly tornadoes.
Tried to make it into the hallway, and that's when we realized we didn't have a roof.
At least 4 children are among the double-digit death toll that spans Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kentucky.
We know we had 1 tornado on the ground at least 40 miles and a number of other tornadoes that spun down and spun back up.
The exact number, Kentucky's governor says, is still being calculated by the National Weather Service.
I also declared a state of emergency for the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky. That allows us to bring in resources, including the National Guard.
Arkansas is also under a state of emergency following widespread destruction and several fatalities there. Some survivors grateful to still have their homes, but facing a lot of cleanup nonetheless.
I knew I'd have at least a couple of trees down, but I didn't realize that all my trees would be down.
In some areas of the South, massive chunks of hail rained down, like these softball-sized pieces collected by a resident in Oklahoma. There are still a couple 100,000 residents without power across the 4 states hit hardest, the majority in Kentucky, as tracked by Power Outage US, with tens of thousands more outages reported across the Midwest, South, and Mid-Atlantic, as dangerous weather alerts stretch from New York to Alabama, threatening more large hail and possible tornadoes through the evening hours Monday. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
For most of us right now, the calm after the storm. It is sunny, blue skies, but There are some showers in the area. Let's get the latest from Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell.
Yeah, you know, if we look off to the west and northwest of St. Louis, we see some darker skies starting to approach. And yes, we still have a little upper level energy that's swinging through the region. That's going to at least give some of us a brief shower this evening. Not everybody, but they may make it into St. Louis. They've certainly made it into mid-Missouri, and they're working into Pike County right now. You can see the clouds kind of building there off to the west, looking from St. Charles. Here's the latest radar, and you see we have that thunderstorm right along the Missouri River out there in Callaway County. That's still producing some gusty winds. All of these could produce a bit of gusty breezes. You have one that's come through Vandalia. It is pushing east-southeast and will impact areas around New Hartford and Ashley along 161 there. If we just kind of track this out, if it can hold together in the metro area, it's coming in, the western parts of the metro area in about a half an hour out around Wentzville, if it holds together. And then in about an hour or so, hour and a half, it'll get into St. Louis. If it holds together, that's the big question mark. Here's kind of that future cast showing these isolated showers and rumbles of thunder trying to drift through here this evening. It doesn't last very long, but on this Memorial Day, you may have some outdoor plans that you may need to adjust. Ann?
This Memorial Day, we honor those who lost their lives while serving in the United States Armed Forces. Several services have been held today around our area, including the biggest one at Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery. Thousands gathered to watch a horse-drawn hearse proceed to Old Flag Circle. The U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America performed. And over the weekend, Boy Scouts placed flags on each grave. That's a 75-year tradition. Across the river in Illinois, the VFW hosted a Memorial Day ceremony in O'Fallon. Chief Master Sergeant Gloria Wilson was the guest speaker before a rifle volley by the Post Honor Guard and the playing of taps by the O'Fallon Marching Band. The fireworks show planned for last night in Collinsville has been postponed to tonight. It will take place at Eastport Plaza.
Let's go ahead and take you now to Weldon Spring for a special ceremony in honor of a local Marine. Sergeant Colin Arsalanbis died in a training exercise in North Carolina last month. The name of the Fort Zumwalt West graduate is now added to the city's memorial wall in Veterans Tribute Park.
We gather at this sacred place at this solemn moment to remember, to honor the sacrifice of the hundreds of thousands of women and men who've given their lives to this nation. Each one, literally a chain and a link in the chain of honor, stretching back to our founding days. Each one bound by common commitment, not to a place, not to a person, not to a president, but to an idea, unlike any idea in human history. The idea of the United States of America. Today, we bear witness to the price they paid.
In Washington, President Biden marking the day with a pledge that the country would continue the work of the nation's fallen toward creating a more perfect union. Delivering remarks at the Arlington National Cemetery, Biden says each generation must ensure the sacrifice of the country's service members is not in vain.
Still ahead, a devastating landslide in the South Pacific. The issues making it harder for rescue workers to get on the scene.
And a basketball legend loses his battle with cancer. How Bill Walton is being remembered.
Before we go to break, we want to remind you the Folds of Honor campaign sponsored by Schnucks is happening now. You have through just tomorrow to round up at the register at all area Schnucks locations. The money raised goes towards scholarships for spouses and children of fallen and wounded service members and first responders. Five on Your Side is a proud partner of the Folds of Honor campaign.